cover, and he's just fighting me on it. All right, and so he also has T-shirts over there for sale. I hear if each one of you buy one, I get a kiss on the cheek. Okay, as long as his wife doesn't know.
Hey everyone, how you doing? I don't have a place to put this, so I'm gonna kind of maneuver. Yeah. All right, this is a first. Well, that's what they're there for, right? All right, how's everyone doing? I know it's kind of a somber moment, but we're gonna bring it up in here a little bit. First off, I want to thank everyone for coming tonight, for taking the time out of your schedule to come to such an important day in our LGBT community. I want to thank all of our sponsors who knew their funding and support could help in the mourning of our trans brothers, sisters, and non-binary individuals. It's with your funding and others like it that allows gatherings like this to take place. So again, thank you, and a round of applause for our sponsors. Very important. Today, I want to talk about what Transgender Day of Remembrance means to me, why it should mean something to you, and also a bit about how days like today impact not just those being mourned, but everyone in our LGBTQA+ acronym. Transgender Day of Remembrance, or TDOR, or hashtag TDOR, is a day not just to mourn all of those transgender and non-binary individuals murdered each year, but it is also to celebrate their life, their courage, and their strength. These people that we lay to a peaceful rest this evening have been our guardians this past year. They have been there whenever you've had to stand up for yourself, or when you had to walk with your head held high into that men's or women's restroom. They are the ones who have helped hold the well-lit torch of equality along the way. And tonight, we acknowledge their courage to be seen for who they are, no matter their outward appearance. And we also acknowledge how seeing their unrightful deaths brought not just a sense of sadness and fear, but more importantly, a sense of strength and pride to ourselves and our community. That is what Transgender Day of Remembrance is all about. Mourning our transgender and non-binary family murdered this past year. Celebrating their life and acknowledging their empowerment through their deaths. And most of all, bringing awareness to those outside and inside our larger LGBT community. In the US alone, we had 26 murders of transgender and gender nonconforming people. This is the highest year in recorded history of transgender murders. In bringing awareness, it is my duty as a white transgender male to acknowledge that out of those 26 murders here in the USA, approximately 21 of those deaths were of transgender women. And not just transgender women, but transgender women of color. It seems our country right now, as harsh as it may seem for us, it is even more harsh of a world for those in our African American communities. And if you're a trans woman, you have an even bigger target on your back. It is important that we acknowledge this in our community, that we take the time to talk about these issues, that we truly try to help those in our community. Open our minds, open our hearts, and start from the inside out. I've been coming to Transgender Day of Remembrance since 2009. That's when I came out. I was an extra young buck then, only 21 days on hormone replacement therapy. a men's button-up I borrowed from my older brother that I barely fit into, and not a hair on this chin. That was young Aiden at his first T-Door event. I was terrified, honestly, to go hear all about the death and sadness of this day. To listen to what felt like hours of reading all the names from around the world. But I knew it was important. I knew I should go. I knew it was my responsibility to acknowledge those in our community I was now living in. That's 7 years of mourning, counting, and death. I've spoken at some and been visitors at others, but each time, no matter if it was the first year, second, third, or seventh year, I always have the exact same thought. That could have been me. Anybody who is transgender in this room today and everywhere in the world hears the names we call out tonight, knowing that could have been our friends, our sister's name, our husband's name, or even our own name. This sparks a fear in me. It makes me feel scared and alone, feelings of not being able to just live the life I need to live. Everyone in this room can relate to that feeling. If you are LGBT today, you have a part of you that is scared, even if you aren't transgender. Orlando, Florida, June, 49 people murdered. We all felt that. All of us, like everyone here. And it's okay to be scared. It really is. You can be sad. You can take a moment, take a day, take a week. But don't stop moving. Don't let that fear stunt you, because days like Orlando, days like Transgender Day of Remembrance, they aren't here to scare you. They aren't even here to really make you sad. They're here to make you aware. We gather tonight to bring awareness to the tragedies going on in our own community. We gather here tonight to inspire, to make sure this damn list isn't as long next year. I want to make 2017 the year of no transgender murders, and I believe that in that year, I believe it's possible to have a year like that. I do. And I would love to say, because I believe it, it will come true. But that isn't true. That's a lie. Because the year of no transgender murders, if it was to occur, it wouldn't be because of me. It would be because of you. Because you cared. Because you held the respect to show up tonight. Because you had the understanding that you, me, and us are better together. I want to leave you all here with something that really hit me this month. And I know that everyone has been talking about the election, and I couldn't decide if I was going to go there or not, but I'm gonna. And if you know anything about me, I really love to go there in all topics. So, I wanted to share with you all here tonight a short story which was really eye-opening. I had this thought on election day night, something that really made me think. It made me realize that things aren't over, that things actually have just begun. So the story starts actually with the shirt I have on today. It's a Mexican proverb that reads, "They tried to bury us. They didn't know that we were seeds." This is a t-shirt that I do have on sale tonight in the tent that was created for this year's T-Door event by my clothing company, 0.5cc, which now we've opened our nonprofit sector, which all the proceeds will be going to that sector called Point of Pride. This quote represents the subtle ways in which we as a transgender community, time and time again, get pushed to the back of the line, to the back of the waiting list, just for us to emerge in these last 2 years stronger and more visible than ever. All my t-shirts are handmade by me, and these t-shirts were originally made of vinyl. But I switched over to screen printing them because, just a background, vinyl is a bit of a tricky thing, and it involves removing the negative space before applying the t-shirt with heat and then pressure. So, this means I had to take a shitload of time to sit down and weed out all the negative space. It was tedious. But it's election night. I have all these vinyls to weed, and so I do what any sane person would do. I invite all my friends to come over and help me. And we watched the election. It was rough. A feeling I may have shared that night with so many of you in the room tonight. I kept my cool though. I was actually, it was pretty late and I was still rooting for the blue. Still arguing to people in the room that it ain't over until it's over. And as I argued and time went by, the electoral votes rolled in, and my thoughts of celebrating our first ever woman president vanished from my evening. My living room went quiet for some time. We all sat or stood in silence. Some of us weeding away at vinyl to help ignore what was really going on, and some just stuffing their face with food or booze to help the emotional stress. But it was in that silence I noticed something. I was sitting there, staring at my white vinyl, pulling away all the negative space, and I had this thought. No matter who would have won that election on Tuesday night, I would still be making these t-shirts. We would still be here today. And that is when it really hit me. It didn't matter who won that night. The fight for our LGBT equality was and still is here today. Just as it was last month, just as it was June of 2016, just as it was June of 2015, just as it will be June of 2017. This is not our time to back down, to be afraid or to give in. It is our time to educate, to be open to learning, and to take responsibility for our actions. Stop sending and sharing your love and support on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Start showing up, taking action, and showing your LGBT family that you are here to support them and that we will not have the highest number in 2017. Thank you for all having me.
You see why I love him? He's great. He's a great person.